Guys, welcome. This is Carl Norman from carlnormanconsulting.com and Professional Personal Development Mastermind. Actually, I've just thrown in the professional bit at the beginning. It actually isn't. It's just Personal Development Mastermind, but it sounds phenomenal. Anyway, I'm going to keep it in there for the time being. Guys, it's that time of the week yet again for Coffee with Cathy. And listen, we've already been on for about 20 minutes having a proper chat. And I said, you know what, Kath? We should be recording this because this is absolutely gold. So first and foremost, Cathy, welcome.
Thank you, Carl. Nice to see you again.
It sounds all really strange that we're doing this, but because we've obviously just had a crazy conversation beforehand. But for the people who are watching and maybe listening, we're just starting right from scratch. And we were having a great conversation. It was really relaxed. And I want to try and carry on with that because we were both talking basically about how we got involved in this business. And my vision basically aligns massively with yours with regard to wanting to help people. I mean, I went out this morning and I sold to a lady, and to be fair, it was the strangest feeling in the world. This lady, Justine Chu, it felt really strange selling her something, and I want to say selling. It sort of felt like that's what I was doing. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I know that I'm going to help. I know that I'm going to help you. But the whole process of going, oh, this is what we've got. This is what we do. And she wanted to know about everything. So it seemed really strange because she ended up buying a massive pack. I just thought it was bizarre because I've never been in a situation whereby that I felt like I was actually selling a product. But just before that we come on air, we were talking about a product and having something to sell instead of selling yourself. You must have had that before because, to be fair, you've basically sold yourself. When someone says to me, you must be a salesman or whatever, I always say we're all salesmen or we're all saleswomen. The bottom line is we're selling ourselves and we're attracting people to us. I mean, you've obviously seen that over the years.
Yeah, we have. But let me tell you, I honestly feel.
Is this a secret? Is this like something that no?
Well, no, you're probably not expecting me to say this, but it is the truth. I am probably the worst salesperson ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh yeah, Cathy, sure. Well, here's why. If I don't like something, I'm very honest and I can't fake it. And but if I love something, I'm going to tell everyone I know. So I've been in those situations before, little odd jobs during college where, even I remember I worked at an ice cream place in college and I would be like, God, there's so much sugar in this. Like I would try to sell people and not even knowing what I was doing, but I couldn't sell the flavor of the day. I couldn't do that. And I never got the good points. I never was the highest salesperson for this and that. I always saw a good value in things. So even working at a retail store, it all comes back and I'm like, well, why would they buy this shirt when they can get 2 of these for less?
Yeah.
So I'm probably not a good salesperson, but I see value. And so when I see value, then I'm going to shout it from the rooftops just based on how I feel about it. So when you say you sold it, it's really not, it's listening to people and seeing what they need.
Exactly.
So I always feel like when you're asking people questions about what they're looking for, that those conversations lead to, the questions lead to a conversation. The conversation leads to the opportunities that they can have. And then the opportunities lead to sales.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
it is sales, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I think it is, but it just felt really strange that, and you know what was also a really great thing, and we'd have this conversation, and you've said this before to me. People like you, people know you, but most importantly, people trust you. And this lady says to me today, she's sitting there, and it was in a beautician's, and there was four ladies doing nails, manicuring them or putting the false nails on or whatever, and she says to me in the middle of everyone. She went, Carl, if you told me to suck on a bar of rock or coal and you told me that it was going to be good for me, I'd do it. And I was like, wow, that sort of blew me away a little bit. And it sort of, it sort of reconfirmed the fact that I think when you've got the experience that you and I have got, and in the industry that we're obviously we're in, and the industry that we have been in with regards to coaching, is that people do they'll tend to believe what it is that you're saying. And the good news is that we both believe in the product that we're actually selling, and obviously the coaching that we're currently doing, and that's important. How many instances have you had of where people have just gone, yeah, Cathy, it doesn't matter, just I'll have it, whatever it is? Have you had that before?
Yeah, all the time. In fact, really all the time.
It's a cool feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know what it is I see a lot of people making mistakes, people who are in fitness or health or any industry, and they're just promoting the flavor of the day, the latest, greatest thing. I've never been that person.
No.
So when I do recommend something, people do listen, because it's not this week I'm selling umbrellas, next week I'm selling makeup, the next week I'm selling shoe polish. Yeah. People know that I'm and I think that all goes back to personal development and knowing that you have to stand behind whatever you put your name on it. I've been very protective of my name. Yeah. And so when I come out and say something, so, people listen, but there's two different types of people who you can talk to. You can talk to people who say, I call them your wingmen. I don't know if that's a term over there.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do, Cathy, whatever it is, I'll do it. I'll do what you say. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
But then there's those other people that want to see it before they believe it. So what they do is they watch you and they see what you do and they see how you react and they see if you're still in it. And then they believe you based on your results. Yeah. So some are quick, some are long-term. But in the end, if you just keep being who you are and promoting and being authentic with whatever it is you're promoting, then the people will come to you.
Yeah, no, it's right. And it's weird because before, we normally have an agenda when we speak. I normally think of something. And today was actually, I was going to talk about consistency. So consistency with everything that we do. I know that we talked about habits last week. And I thought, well, that would probably lead on quite nicely, because consistency for me is doing something on a regular basis. I don't believe that it's a habit. I just believe that it's ingrained in us. It's something that consistency means that, I look back on Facebook and, it's got like, you go back 5 years, 2 years, and it's me saying exactly the same message, putting exactly the same posts up, consistency with personal development, with empowerment, with empathy. It's consistent, and it's weird because unless you're looking back at old photographs and going, oh yeah, I can see that I liked wearing shirts, or I see that I like wearing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this face is yours the same? I mean, how long have you been on Facebook for?
I've been on Facebook since 2008.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, you are so right. I was just saying this to someone else. I said, boy, you want to see your messaging and how it stays the same or change. Look every day on Facebook under that category on this day, because you look back and you're like, whoa, really? What was I thinking? But like, yeah, the hair color changes, the outfits change. What does your messaging look like? And you're absolutely right. Mine hasn't changed at all in those years. And there's the gratitude and the blessing and the honoring and the recognition and all of those things that I feel is so important to me when I give to other people. It was there then, it's here now, and that creates a trust for sure.
And I just think that that's down to your own personal values and beliefs. I've always believed in being as positive as I possibly can, irrespective of what's going on around me. And having that thing to say, just get up and do it. It doesn't matter how you're feeling. You've just got to try and pick yourself up. And that's hard sometimes. I mean, I know that you've got a thing just over your right shoulder which says believe, and I know that it's there all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's just something that, I don't know, do you think that can be taught? Do you think that consistency can be taught to someone? Because I'm in two minds. I get to meet some people that are quite negative, and I obviously try and get rid of them out of my life as quickly as I possibly can. However, is that I know that I can revisit them in a certain period in time, and some people have changed because of a life-changing experience, but other people have stayed the same. And I think if you'd only just open your mind a little bit more, if you'd only just accept and appreciate that the people that are around you want to help you and they want to push you forwards, But if you're in that mindset whereby, oh no, I'm just happy the way that, and this is the way, funny just speaking to Stephanie, and she was like, well, once the 3 kids come along, this is the way that life should be. And, and just accept it. I've seen that with many clients, and I'm sure that you have, where they've just gone, no, I'm not accepting it, and I am going to change.
Yeah. I mean, well, you're talking about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset.
And a growth mindset, yeah, obviously, yeah.
And I think you can change that, but it takes a lot of self-development, a lot of personal development, and, and a willingness and an openness and a trust and all of those things. I mean, if there wasn't an ability to change, there would be a lot more miserable people in this world. So there's always that opportunity to change and make things consistent. And consistency to me, and when I look about the way, when I coach world champions, all of them are consistent. That would be the biggest common bond and characteristic that they all have. They are all consistent with their workouts, consistent with their meal plans. Notice I didn't say perfect. I said consistent. They're consistent with their mindset. They're consistent with everything they need to do to get to where they need to be. They don't have to be the best, but they have to be consistent. And I'll take consistency any day, whether it's business, physical, everything, because stuff happens. But if you're consistent in your work habits, you will build your business. Building a business is like climbing a ladder. It's not shooting right up to the ladder. It's climbing the ladder, and it's one foot after the other consistently. And then all those pieces are put together as you climb. And you just don't take a rocket ship straight to the top. You climb, and that takes consistent climbing. So I look at it that way. I think it can be taught, but it will not work unless you surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing. Because especially if you're not, like, for me, it's embedded into me. It's embedded. It's the way I was brought up. But my dad wasn't brought up that way. So it can totally change. So if you surround yourself with people like you, then it's going to rub off. And you, Carl, are like a constant reminder for people around you to be better, do better, give more, want more, have more, provide more. You can be that beacon for other people who it may not happen so fast for, but you're that constant reminder of what it could be. So yes, people can change, but they can only change if they're open, willing, and trusting of themselves. And they also have to surround themselves with someone who's already doing it. It's the modeling theory. You have to model what you want and what you want to be. And then, of course, I've seen it happen. I've seen miserable people become amazing people, and they've had to do a lot of work.
Yeah, it's weird because I've done videos before where I've done some coaching, and I've just said to people, you know what, show up. So that is it. Just show up. You know what? If you don't want to go to the gym today, do me a favor. Get in the car. Just go. Stay in the environment for 5 or 10 minutes. Then tell me that you don't want to work out, okay? And if you don't, then just get in the car and go back home again. But just do me a favor. Show up. I don't care what you do. Just be there. And I think that's important. If you're training world champions and you listen, life gets in the way sometimes, but I'm sure that you said to some of your girls that are maybe going through a tough patch, just do us a favor. Just come. Just meet with the girls. Just be around like-minded people. And what you see in them, I bet you see a change in them from being there. Yeah. The support from the rest of the people. And then chances are they'll come back into the fold. Yeah.
Yeah, you just made me think. That was so good. You just made me think of something too. And I didn't even realize this, but when I first came to our company, I had a lot of positive vibes around me. I also had some negativity from the fitness world. There's for as many great things there are in fitness, there's negativity as well in any industry. But what I did was I really became fascinated by the people at the top, the people who were doing things really well. I was fascinated by them, their ability to be really happy, be really giving, be open to helping others that they didn't know, and make incredible income from it. I was fascinated by that. I think maybe because I grew up very middle class, my parents were teachers, and we were never wanting for anything. But I just knew we were like a middle-class family. And when I came to this company, I was like, my God, how can you be so nice, so willing to help me? You don't even know me, making so much money that you never have to work again. And what's ironic is the 3 people that blew me away at first are now my best friends. And they're not even linked to me with our company. They're part of our company, but they're not even on our team. And because they are women that are like unbelievable role models, unbelievable, multiple 7-figure earners, moms, willing to help me because they loved my energy. So it was like synergistic that we all became friends, and their consistent habits became my consistent habits in this new industry that I was in. And it's funny because I never really kind of looked at it that way, but I think that's really what happened. It's crazy. So they made me better, you know? And that's why, again, like we always say, surround yourself with the people who are positive, who are cheering you on, who want the best of you and don't have to understand everything. Like I remember when I was competing in fitness, all my friends would come. They're like, I don't even know what you're doing, but it's great. Yay. They'd make signs. They're like, yay. I'd come in third, which I'd be happy about. And they'd be like, yay. Like, it's like you've won. They just wanted me to be successful. So, and my happiness became theirs. So I swear it's like, it's surrounding yourself. It's your community. It's your tribe. It's your group. It's your team, whatever you want to call it. I think that helps you become more consistent as you go forward in your business.
What takes someone then? What advice would you give? And we could probably wrap this up with this one. And I know we're going to have a little bit of a chat afterwards. But what would you say to people that are sitting on the fence when it comes to personal development in any area of their life, whether that's they want a better relationship, whether they want more income, whether they just want to better themselves, full stop. But they're sitting on the fence. I mean, I know loads of people who have got in touch with me over the last few weeks with regards to the business that we're in with the Isogenics. And it's only like sort of now that they're starting to come out and say, oh God, tell me a little bit, I've been watching you for this and I know that you've been saying this. What do you think it actually takes someone to get off that fence to be able to join in and be part of that tribe? And I don't mean that tribe isn't like, you know what, people think, oh, it's a cult or a gang or whatever. I don't know, we've had that before. But part of a community that genuinely believe in development. What do you think that it takes for them to do that?
Well, I'm going to answer it, but then I want to ask you the same thing.
Okay.
So I want to hear what you have to say about that, but I'll answer first. I think that people watch and want. They watch and want. They watch what you do and want what you have. And then they make that decision. But the other part of that too is, what the heck was I going to say? That was good. They watch and want. Oh, I know. What I feel has happened with the people that have gone from that, not interested, don't need it, to stay away from me, to all right, I'm ready, let's do it. Something in their life happens and makes them flip the switch. Now, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, but it can be a good thing. It can be, I just had a baby and now I don't want to go back to work. So everything I was saying that I didn't want to do with you, I want to be home and work from home. So you went from, I don't need this, to, oh my God, I have this baby and now I have to go back to work. So sometimes it's a life change. You know, with the Murgatroyds, you're going to be talking to them in the future. Yeah. That's what happened to them. They were no for 3 years. Then they had a baby and they're like, wait, what? Now I have to go back to work. Yeah. So, and I can even say that about my dad passing. That's when I started embracing the business like never before, because I knew that I didn't want to have anyone go through what I went through, with being with the person they loved at the time when, they're passing. I wanted to be able to be financially stable. I never looked at it. So my openness came there. Even though I was open, I was even more open-minded to everything and anything. I truly feel that a life experience can often sway and shift someone to give something a try that they never thought they would. Now, what about you? What do you think that What do you think has to happen for someone to make that shift?
Well, you know what? Obviously, being in the weight loss industry and being in what I've been doing for the last 7 years, I think that there's two things. I think people feel as if that they're in a certain amount of pain, and whatever pain that is, and we know that there's pain and pleasure. Most people want to obviously be out of pain and obviously into a pleasurable situation. And it's strange because as we were just talking about that then, I was thinking about when I first started to do jiu-jitsu, when I was contemplating doing it when I was about 13, 14. But I got into boxing. So this was the pain and pleasure thing. So I got into boxing at 13 and we just used to punch bags all the time. So we were punching bags, and then after about a month, you build your fitness up, and the next minute you get in the ring and they go, okay, you're going to do a little bit of sparring now. Next minute, boom, oh, hang on a second. I didn't buy into this. This is not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to get hit. But that was obviously the pain bit and thinking, okay, I don't really want to know. So getting into the jiu-jitsu a couple of years later at 15, 16, is that I just wanted to learn how to fight better because I was in not a rough area, but I just moved into a council estate, so it wasn't the best of areas. And there was lots of other people that were coming in and lots of other gangs that were going on. So for me, the impetus to do jiu-jitsu at the time was because I wanted to make myself better. But then when I started to get into coaching, again, that changed because I was like thinking, I want to help other people do exactly the same thing as what I was going through. And when people would come in and want to learn how to do jiu-jitsu, I then started to see people were coming in for different reasons. They wanted to build confidence up. Some guys were coming in that had families. And let's say, for example, their first thing was they wanted to protect the family. So if they could fight a little bit better, if they could defend themselves a little bit better, then obviously they'd have a better chance of being able to protect the family. So I think it's horses for courses. I genuinely believe that it's whatever that they want or what they believe the change that needs to happen is probably personal for every single person, like you say. And we talk about your dad every single week. Every time that we come on here, I know that your dad always plays a massive part, and that's lovely. You know, it really is. It's very endearing, and he obviously played a massive part in your life. I think for you to do what you're currently doing now, but probably your reasons why what you do, there's always that little bit there that is like, is your dad? You know, and it's like, okay, you might see someone that's got a couple of kids, like obviously the Megatroids or other families that have got kids, and you're probably thinking to yourself, oh God, they want to spend more time with their family. And wouldn't it be nice if they were earning enough money to be able to do that? And I don't know whether you've come across anyone who maybe have been in the same situation that your poor dad and you guys were in. But if you have, that would probably hit home twice as much.
Every day. Yeah.
So that was the reason why, I mean, I think for me, when I coach clients now, I look at them and I try to find out what the pain button is and why they want to obviously either lose weight or why they want to change their life in certain ways. I mean, I've got guys there that, you know, have been massively into drugs or alcohol. They woke up one day and gone, I've put my family through hell. And I now see that I need to change. And I've said, well, personal development is where it is, because if you can't change the world around you. You've got to start with you first. I think this is the reason why I love this business so much, because it genuinely does tick every single box with regards to, it's not just about, here you go, here's a product and this is going to make it all better, because that's just like being a pharmacist, really. And we're so not that, are we?
So right. You're so right. That was amazing. No wonder why you're a great coach. That was really great. That pain point. I think being a great coach is a great listener. And being, you know, that's one of your best skills. And listening to someone's pain point and knowing you can change someone just by some simple habits and consistent habits and shifting a mindset from fixed to open, like all those things that you just described for yourself and then for others, is really the path to any type of success, be it personal, physical, financial. You have to be open-minded to everything, because if you're so closed, you're going to stay in that box and your life is not going to change. It's just not.
No. I think
So,
some people are genuinely scared, though.
yeah.
I think in certain situations, you know, I think from a, let's say, for example, a relationship point of view, I mean, the amount of women that I've trained over the years, and they've come to me and said that in a really difficult relationship, and I've said, well, what do you want? How do you see your life going for the next 5 or 10 years? And you know what? And I'm not saying that I've been responsible for people breaking up, but people have walked away from after having our conversation and gone, wow, if I carry on doing what I'm currently doing right now, my life's not going to be great. And I've not meant it in that way. I've meant it in a way that I've gone, what do you want out of your life? And
Right.
can you see yourself being in the same situation 10, 15, 20 years down the line? What would that mean to you to be in
Right.
the same situation? Sometimes
Right.
it's been frightening.
Yeah, it is. Well, because you've got to go through it. You got to go over it. You got to dig under it to get where you want to be. And sometimes that does create pain, but on the other side of pain is where you want to be. Sometimes you have to go through it, and it's harder for some people than others.
Yeah.
But the reward makes you forget about the pain and you embrace the pain of what you went through.
Yeah.
That's the way I always look at it. But you know what? I'm going to blow your mind right now. You're going to be like, what is this girl? Like, who is she? One of my favorite movies, don't laugh. And if you ask any of my Savage girls about this, they're going to know. Remember the movie Chariots of Fire?
Yeah, of course.
It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Okay.
Because there's a few lines in there about being afraid to get to your goal. What if I win? Then what? What do I do? And I love that movie. There's so much symbolic. We could do a whole story. We could do a whole coffee talk on Chariots of Fire. People have asked me this, like on TV, in magazines, and I talk about Chariots of Fire. But like, it's one of my favorites because there's so much symbolism in there. And one of the parts is, I think the guy's getting the rub down, and he's like, my life goal was to win this race, but what happens after when I win it? So it's like, it's a great example of your goals can be really scary because that means life's going to shift and change. And are you ready? And so I feel like a lot of people, they'll never admit it, but that is a big piece of why people stay in the comfort zone for sure. Because they're afraid.
Yeah, it's a weird one. And it's funny you should talk about films. And I said today that we were just going to have a natter today. We weren't really going to, there wasn't going to be an agenda. One of my favorite films is Meet Joe Black. I don't know whether you've, yeah.
Yes, I love Meet Joe Black. Well, of course, Brad Pitt's in it, so you know it's not hard to watch.
I wasn't thinking of that. I was actually thinking about the undertones of the message. Actually,
yeah, that too. Yes,
but you know what really struck home with that? And if anyone hasn't seen that film, then please get it out. Anthony Hopkins is brilliant. Forget Brad Pitt for a second, but Anthony Hopkins
you're
is
right. Yes, you're right. I love Anthony. Like he's amazing in that movie.
He's just he's reached the pinnacle of everything that he wanted to do in his life, and then he's got a certain amount of time to put certain things right. Even just talking about it now just makes me feel really emotional because it's like I would just love. I wouldn't love to know, but in half of me would probably go, wow, imagine if Brad Pitt come down. So listen. You've got that shot. It'd be amazing to see Brad Pitt anyway, but it'd just be a little bit crazy then for someone to say to you, yeah, listen, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to put things in order. Oh, it blew me away. Wow. It really did. The message was just incredible.
Wow. It's so good. It's so emotional. That was an emotional movie for me too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know. I won't even get on to watching Bambi or Watership Down. We won't even go there. We won't even talk about that today.
Bambi. That would be another one. I love movies, so we could do a whole coffee talk on movies.
Okay, well, listen, we'll probably do that next time. I know that you and I need to have a quick chat after this, but guys, listen, you've been, Cathy, as always, this was a really good coffee talk with Cathy today. I've really enjoyed this day. I felt like I feel like I get to know you more and more every time that we chat. But I think today was one of those ones that you connect, you relax in the conversation. It's like having a conversation with a really good friend. and I've enjoyed it massively. I just hope that the people who are listening to this and the people who are watching this will get exactly the same thing as what I have. Cathy, you've been an incredible guest again today for me. I really do appreciate it. For everyone that's watching out there, thank you so much for listening and watching today. I look forward to catching you next week when we'll have Cathy on, and we'll probably be talking about the Bambi movie or the latest, I don't know, some crazy chick flick or whatever. I'm sure that we'll be talking about something. Cathy, thank you so much. I look forward to catching you next week. Take care.
Okay, take care, everyone.